Did you know that if you don't get enough folate in your diet, you may be at a significantly higher risk of developing dementia? That's right. Research suggests that a folate deficiency can increase your risk of developing dementia by up to 68%. Before I dive into why this is and what to do about it, let me explain why taking care of your brain is so important. An estimated 10% of American adults aged 65 and older have dementia, and another 22% have mild cognitive impairment. Altogether, that's 32% of older adults. While there are both genetic and lifestyle components to this, no one is 100% safe from cognitive decline. Dementia can cause memory loss, difficulty speaking, reading, and writing, and even an inability to recognize your loved ones. Sounds terrifying, right? But there are actions we can take starting today to help ward off cognitive decline. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm going to focus on one very important, very simple action: getting enough folate. Before I do, I want you to take a few seconds and think of someone who could be helped by this video. Then share it with them right now. Let me start by explaining a bit about what folate is and why it's so important. Folate is known by a few different names: folate, folic acid, and vitamin B9. That's right. Folate is a B vitamin. B vitamins help your body with some pretty important tasks. For instance, they help break down amino acids, transport oxygen throughout your body, and in the case of folate, help with the formation of red blood cells and enable healthy cell growth and function. You can find folate in foods like leafy green vegetables, beans and legumes, and whole grains. However, while many vitamins are best absorbed through food sources, this is actually not the case with folate. In fact, according to Harvard Health, 85% of folate is absorbed through supplements, versus only 50% of it from foods. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to get folate from food sources, but just know that it's less easily absorbed that way. If you're thinking of adding a folate supplement to your routine, be sure to talk to your doctor first. Okay, now that you have an understanding of the fundamentals of folate, let's look at what the research says about the relationship between this vitamin and brain health. And to do that, I'm going to return to that first stat that I mentioned, that folate deficiency can potentially increase your risk of developing dementia by 68%. This finding was published in 2021 in the journal Evidence-Based Mental Health. The researchers of this study examined over 27,000 people between the ages of 60 and 75 who had no history of dementia for the 10 years prior. After measuring their blood folate levels and adjusting for factors like other vitamin deficiencies and certain medical conditions, the researchers found that folate deficiency was associated with a 68% increased risk of developing dementia. That's huge, and suggests that folate plays an enormous role in brain health. Other studies have also looked at folate and its impact on your brain, including in the development of Alzheimer's disease. A 2021 study published in the journal Frontiers of Neuroscience, for instance, looked at this very thing. These researchers examined a group of Alzheimer's patients along with their folate levels. What they found was that those with Alzheimer's had lower levels of folate than healthy individuals, and concluded that sufficient daily intake of folate may be able to prevent Alzheimer's disease. While both of these studies present some pretty compelling findings, I should mention that they were only able to determine correlation and not causation. In other words, they saw that there was a strong link between folate and brain health, but did not establish, at least not yet, a causal relationship. But a final study I'm going to walk you through actually did look at this. This study was a randomized clinical trial, the gold standard of research. Published in Current Alzheimer's Research, it looked at whether folate and vitamin B12 supplementation could help cognitive performance in those with pre-existing mild cognitive impairment. What they found was that the combination of regular folate and vitamin B12 significantly improved cognitive functioning in those with cognitive decline. So, folate may indeed bring about better brain health, and based on last year's findings, you might want to consider adding a vitamin B12 supplement to your regimen as well. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing as we continue to make content to help you live longer, happier, healthier lives.